Yo, what is going on, guys? I am super excited to bring you some more tabletop post-rotation gameplay. On the left side, you've got your boy. I am playing Gardevoir EX. And on the right, we've got Fifi for the salty run back. And she's going to see if she can take this game off me here this time on the channel. If you guys like this video, drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel. I still have a lot more content coming up as we build up to Scarlet and Violet here at the end of the month and rotation in April. So without further ado, let's get into this game. Now, Fifi did take a mulligan, which is always good. I'll always take extra cards here. These decks are so fun. New EX Pokemon coming out of Scarlet and Violet. Of course, Oinkologne is I would say it's a pretty underrated deck. Oinkologne is a tank and heal style deck, and it does really good at exactly that, taking hits and shaking them off as though they were nothing. And of course, Gardevoir is a fairly popular and common EX Pokemon, as it is not only a fan favorite, but it has a very powerful ability that we will get into here soon. So I guess we're all set up and ready to go. Good luck, have fun. We are nothing but sportsmen-like out here, guys. And there is the Lechonk, the Chonky Boys. Already starting off with 2 Lechonks and a Nest Ball. There is the new Nest Ball reprint, which is an amazing card that is coming out in Scarlet and Violet. It's the replacement for Quick Ball in the upcoming set. As you can see, I don't know if you can really tell, but we have silver borders on these cards. These are not just proxies. A lot of these cards we actually got from Scarlet and Violet pre-release this past weekend, which was an absolute blast. Part of the reason I'm actually playing Gardevoir today is because we pulled 2 Gardevoirs two Gardevoir EXs out of our extra packs, which was so cool. So here, she's got 2 Lechonk set up, ready to go, and Bidoof. Now, this Bidoof is a great Bidoof. It came out in Crown Zenith with the carefree countenance. It's essentially Manaphy, but for only himself. So it's really nice that allows him to survive. She looks pretty set for success. That's pretty optimal turn 1. I am going to bench my Ralts down. Now, I did lead Manaphy, and there's not as much as I want going on in this hand, unfortunately. Off on Fifi's side, we see a draw supporter. She's kind of set for success already, and she's ready to go into her following turn. Going first, she's able to evolve and kind of start swinging. So, I do get a Ralts down with an energy, and then I am going to go in with a Serena to draw 2 cards, and I do draw into a Ralts, and we see the Gardevoir EX. So I've got 2 Ralts down, so I can't get potentially gusted and knocked out. So yeah, we're looking pretty solid. I mean, is it the optimal turn 1? No. I didn't hit Battle VIP Pass, any of that good stuff. So, but we still can make some incredible plays here. So, Fifi's ripping that big fat Colress and seeing what she can find, really trying to get herself set for success. We see the full face guard, Nest Ball, Pokégear, Path. Path can be really scary against Gardevoir because Path completely shuts off Gardevoir EX's ability, which stops me from accelerating energy into play. So that can be potentially pretty scary. The gear is nice for follow-up turns. And she decides to throw away the full face guard, because there is, 3 full face guards in her list, I think? So she only realistically needs 2, and even then, a lot of times you can get away with 1. So, because typically you're going to play cards like Cheren's Care, which allow you to pick up the Pokemon and full heal it and put the full face guard back into your hand. So, currently, she is trying to thin and hunt down. Double Bidoof comes down, which is super duper good. That gives her so much additional draw with that next Nest Ball. She's going to go back into the deck, it looks like. So, checking that hand, I do think I saw an Ultra Ball, so that'll get her Piggy. Oinkologne EX, there's the Ultra Ball. Getting rid of a full face card, unfortunately, but I do see some pretty important cards in her hand, like Pokégear for follow-up. I can't really see what else, but I believe at the time she didn't have much else going on in her hand, so she did have to get rid of the full face card, so she's already down 2 full face cards, which can be kind of iffy. And there is the Oinkologne EX. She's going to instantly evolve that bad boy. Now, she evolved the bench here because I don't think she had energy attached for turn for the active. So she had to evolve the bench, and I believe she had the switching card in hand. So there's the Pokégear, trying to see what she can find for follow-up plays. And there's Pokégear is such a good card. We got a reprint of it in Scarlet and Violet. It allows you to look at the top 7 cards of your deck and put any one supporter you find there into your hand. So it's great to dig, help you find supporters like your draw supporters. Right there, she grabs Cheren's Care, which allows you to completely pick up your Oinkologne EX and full heal it, which is great. If you can't one-shot Oinkologne, it is going to get full healed every turn and completely negate your last turn, which is very, very nice. There's the rope. Now, it's really unfortunate because she is going to be able to take my Ralts here. I was sitting here trying to figure out, I'm like, okay, I just sent up the one with energy, right? Because I don't die. But then I'm like, wait, no, I do die. I was like, wait a second, no, do you mind if I actually do the other one? And then I came to the realization that she had double turbo on. I was like, wait a second. The double turbo reduces the damage of Oinkologne. So the Maddening Stomp attack, the one she wants to use, it does 10 plus 30 for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. But because I've only got 2 bench Pokemon, it's only doing 70 damage, which is enough to knock out Ralts. But with the double turbo, it's down to 50, so it does not knock me out with the Maddening Stomp, and I get pathed instantaneously. So, like I said, this deck does incredible things with Judge Path, so we'll see. Passing back into my turn. Now I do survive, and I believe that's going to be pretty clutch for me here. Now I'm going to be using, I believe I'm going to start my turn off with the worker here, so I can get rid of her path to the peak. Not only am I drawing 3 cards here, but I get to remove a stadium from play. I'm also going to Level Ball here. This Level Ball is not just being used to grab something, but I'm also doing a deck check here to see how many Raltses, Kirlias, what counts I have of cards in my deck, so that I know what resources I have in this game. Because it is a slightly resource intensive, because she plays 4 paths and Judge, and I'm constantly getting disrupted by the Oinkologne EX deck, that I need to be able to have enough resources to make it through this game successfully, that is. So I'm gonna grab Mew. I love Mew from Celebrations. Is a absolutely phenomenal Pokemon, is a really great card as a way to dig into our deck, and it's a fantastic pivot Pokemon as well. So I'm setting that up as I have really liked getting that out in my opening early turns and potentially searching for more cards. So I'm going to shuffle up, and then I'm gonna decide to hold the hand here, and I'm going to attach energy for turn. That's gonna be a paid retreat cost for next turn, and we are going to evolve into Kirlia. Now this is the Mirage Step, or Water Duplicate, as some older players might know it by. Which is a very, very cool attack for 1 psychic energy, and allows me to search my deck for up to 3 Kirlias and put them directly onto my bench. That means I get to completely skip this Ralts evolution line and put 2 Kirlias directly into play. This is amazing for getting set for it's just amazing to set up your board state there. Look at that! I went from practically nothing to having full Kirlias evolved this turn. This is a fantastic one-up in this deck, and as you can see, it really paid off here. And there is a Judge. As I said, Judge Path is typically the name of the game with this deck. I mean, Judge Path is typically what people are playing in the standard format right now, because it can be so disruptive, and it can really, yank those cards out of your hand that you really need. Now, the nice part about all that is I just got 2 Kirlias up. Now, the Kirlias are really going to save my life here this next turn, and you will see exactly why. Alright, I see energy in the hand, Level Ball. I see lots of good cards coming out of Fifi's hand there, trying to get some extra energy in play, trying to get these things big and beefy. I really like this Oinkologne EX deck. I think, like I said, I think it's an underdog. I think it's super duper underrated, and I think it's a super fun archetype as well. It's very simple. We saw the Maddening Scent attack. It also has another really solid attack as well. Heavy Stomp. It does 210, and then if Tails, you can't attack again next turn. But if you really need to, you can go Maddening Scent to chunk something, to you know, chip it a little bit, and then Heavy Stomp for a knockout, all while healing, which is pretty solid. The full art looks pretty nice. Once again, yet another amazing card we got at pre-release this past weekend, which we were very excited for, so we're like, alright, we gotta showcase these decks. The energy comes down on the backup Lechonk, because the energy doesn't necessarily need to go on the active this turn because she gets the knockout. Now she's doing max damage, 160 I believe, because I have a full bench. So, here we are. We promote the Mew Mysterious Tail. I did my draw for turn. I am going to use Refinement. This is the new trait ability on Kirlia, which allows me to discard a card from my hand and draw 2 cards. Even though I got judged, I'm still going to be able to draw out of it because of this amazing Kirlia that came out in, what, Silver Tempest? And then we use Refinement number 2 to draw an additional 2 cards. Then we go in with the Mysterious Tail to look at the top 6 cards of our deck and put any one item card directly into our hand. I'm going to grab the Ultra Ball. This is the new looking Ultra Ball. This is the new one from Scarlet and Violet reprint, which is, I must say, it looks pretty solid. I'm a huge fan of the silver borders. I really dig it. But look at that. Look at how much we have going on in our hand. It's so good. And I have played, what, 1 worker? I did a draw 3 supporter. That's the only supporter I played for turn, and I've still got the absolute gas in my hand. I'm going to Ultra Ball here and grab Gardevoir EX. Gardevoir EX is so powerful and has incredible synergy with the Refinement Kirlias. For those of you who don't know, Gardevoir EX's ability accelerates psychic energy from the discard pile, which is why I'm putting an emphasis on discarding that energy. There we are. We're going to Rare Candy directly up into the Gardevoir EX. Wow, a format where Rare Candy is good? These are the kind of formats I like to live in. Now, of course, Rare Candy did see play for a little bit, but oh, there's a retreat. I'm going to go into the Manaphy here. And I'm actually just going to pass back to my opponent. I kind of want to save this Mew as a potential pivot. I'm getting all my Psychic Energy to the top of my deck so I can see how many I have and count it, because knowing how much Psychic Energy is in your discard pile is very important. And I was like, oh damn, another path. So I did get pathed again. So, unfortunately, we're trying to count, see how much the Maddening Stomp is doing based off my bench. But yeah, so unfortunately Gardevoir is ability locked right now, but I believe I see a Temple of Sinnoh in my hand, so I'm actually not too concerned about that. So, Fifi just hit me with a Maddening Stomp and taking another prize card, putting her up 2 prize cards, which is actually really scary here. I mean, I'm already down 6 to 4 prize cards. I mean, I need a lot to kind of get this play. We're going to start off with the Fog Crystal, allowing me to grab a basic Psychic Pokemon or a basic Psychic Energy, and put it directly into my hand. Now, I'm trying to figure out a world in where I can get a big knockout this turn. I'm going to grab the basic Psychic Energy, as I can throw it into the discard pile with the Refinement Kirlia. As you can see, I'm like, wait, I haven't used any abilities this turn. Let me move my counters off real quick. So, I put the basic Psychic in my hand. I'm also going to Level Ball. I'm like, I'm a goober. I've been playing this game for how many years, and I still can't figure out to grab everything before I do my stuff. or before I shuffle my deck. So I'm going to grab another Ralts out of the deck. Because we just used Mirage Step to instantly get our Curlies into play, we have extra Raltses to work with. I'm gonna Refinement, draw 2 here. We find a rare candy, which is very good. It could potentially get us up into a second Gardevoir, which is always super nice. We're gonna go Refinement number 2. I'm gonna get rid of Rescue Carrier, and I do find Ultra Ball. So I'm trying to math out and see if I have the knockout on this Oinkologne EX. Now, from where my board state's looking, it doesn't look like I don't have a knockout. My Gardevoir EX doesn't hit as hard as some of the other attackers in this deck, so I'm looking to see if I have enough in my discard pile to get this KO. Alright, let's see if we can do this, guys. I'm trying to figure it out because Oinkologne is pretty dang beefy. Now, I think I'm going to start off with an Arven. This is a new supporter card from Scarlet and Violet. It allows you to search your deck for an item and a Pokemon tool card, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Now, keep in mind, tools and items are now different. This is a new addition in Scarlet and Violet. Tools are no longer item cards. They're their own classification of trainer cards, like stadiums and supporters. They're different trainer cards. Now, tools are a different classification of trainer cards. I'm going to grab another Fog Crystal and Emergency Jelly. I'm going to use that Fog Crystal to grab another basic Psychic Energy, guys. Now, I promise you, I am cooking up something nuts here. I am going to get rid of one of those rare candies. I really don't want to, though, because I want to save it to potentially rare candy up into a Gardevoir. But I do think it's the play, considering I do need my stadiums here to really counter this path to the peak, or else Gardevoir does less than nothing. I'm going to use the Ultra Ball here to grab Zacian V from Celebrations and instantly put it onto my bench. Zacian V is a really amazing attacker in this deck. It has a solid ability which allows you to accelerate a Psychic Energy from your deck into play. Although it does end your turn, if you have it in your opening turns, it might be a solid option. But what it's here for is the Storm Slash attack. It does 60 plus 30 more for each Psychic Energy attached to this Pokemon. So here we are. I'm going to bump that path so my Gardevoir EX's ability is live. And we're going to make sure we use our Mysterious Tail. Gotta use all my abilities. Make sure I thin my deck out as much as possible. I only have the Level Ball, which is great. But keep in mind, if I didn't Mysterious Tail, then the Mysterious Tail just gives me an extra card to potentially Refinement and discard with my Curlia's next turn. So definitely gotta go in for that. I'm counting my Psychic Energies up to see if I have enough here to slap those on to my Zacian. So I put them all at the top. I'm gonna start off with my first Psychic Embrace from Gardevoir. Now, the downside of this ability, it allows you to accelerate Psychic Energy as often as you'd like during your turn onto your Pokemon. Onto your Psychic Pokemon. I can retreat, accelerate more energy. It's really, really broken. At the downside, of course, is I have to put 2 damage counters for each Psychic Energy that I attach to that Pokemon. As you can see, I am counting here. I have 8 energy on this bad boy, or 7, I believe, which means 7 times 3 is 210 plus another 60. We are doing 270, enough to absolutely decimate this Oinkologne EX. And then I do, of course, have to put a decent amount of damage counters on it because of that, but in return, I get to net myself 2 prizes and put myself in this game, which I'm in there, man. I'm super hype, as you can see. I was able to pull off a massive KO with that Zacian V. So I'm hype. This deck is a ton of fun to play. It really feels like a Psychic toolbox deck, honestly. So Oinkologne EX number 2 does come down. So she's kind of getting ready to attack. She can get a return KO, which is really, really scary. Of course, that is the downside of putting all of these damage counters on this Zacian. Now she's really looking to... Oh, there's a double turbo. Okay, double turbo comes down. I that's mainly there as for to do that big 2-10 attack next turn, and she's counting Pokemon again on the bench for the maddening stench just to make sure that she gets the KO. Now, once again, her deck plays only special energies, so Temple of Sinnoh is actually not super, I mean, it's pretty good against her because that means she doesn't get the draws off Lucky Energy, Double Turbo counts as only 1 energy, V-Guard is not applicable to the Zacian V. Now, unfortunately though, Zacian does go down and all my energy back to the discard pile, but that is not typically a big problem. I'm going to do my draw for turn. I do draw into another Gardevoir EX. Now, I'm trying to figure out how do I get this knockout this turn. I need to thin my hand down and draw as many cards as possible because I'm kind of running a little out of luck here. In my opening turn, I did have to throw away one of my Gardevoirs that is a primary attacker in this deck. And so I've only got one out to my other Gardevoir. It's not the Gardevoir EX, it's the Gardevoir from Chilling Reign. And that is going to be my next attacker I'm resetting, and we're drawing 2 cards there. Not exactly what I'm looking for quite yet, because I have the rare candy in hand. I can rare candy the Ralts near the top, all the way up to a Gardevoir, and leave those Kirlias for draw. There's the rare candy. And we're going for Mysterious Tail. I do need to hit this right here. Look at the top 6 cards of my deck. And unfortunately, it's going to be a whiff from me. I do have the Fog Crystal, which is nice, but of course it doesn't really help me in this case because I'm looking to get that Gardevoir, the big Gardevoir, which is a stage 2. So I'm trying to see if there's anything else in this hand that I can realistically do. The only play I could make is to thin this hand down and then draw a few more cards off of a Serena. So I'm going to attach Emergency Jelly there, that's a tool card, and then we're going to start thinning cards down here. Now, ideally, like I said, I'd love to have this rare candy into the baby Gardevoir, the non-Gardevoir EX, but like I said, I was unable to get it, so way of the road. We're going to bench down another Ralts. I mean, once again, this is the power of that Mirage Step Kirlia. I have more Raltses to put on my bench that I potentially don't have to use my Kirlias to evolve, and I can save them as draw supporters, or board-based draw, which is incredibly, incredibly nice. My deck is also getting very, very small. Keep in mind, guys, I've played, what, 2 supporter cards this entire game? I've played Worker and Arven up until this point. I played 2 supporter cards, and I have a massive discard pile. Look at that discard pile. This is my discard pile. It looks like it's the size of her deck. That's absolutely crazy. Just the amount of draw you have in this deck without playing supporters is mind-boggling. And I don't even have Radiant Greninja online. I haven't had Radiant Greninja online the entire game, which is extra draw that helps you get the Psychic Energy in the discard pile, which allows for really solid synergy, again, with Gardevoir EX. So here we are. I'm gonna Serena for 4. We do find the Radiant Gren. I'm looking for the Gardevoir, and that is going to be a whiff. I am real sad about it. Unfortunate, because I believe I had enough Psychic Energy and discard to take the next big one-shot on these little piggies. That's the real downside to not being able to one-shot these pigs. If I did, like, for example, let's say I swung into this little piggy with Gardevoir EX, right? The piggy would be able to 2-hit KO me and fully heal all of the damage off. So I am actually just going to pass with the single prize Pokemon in the active and put all my hopes and dreams in the follow-up turn. Now, once again, Path does come down. Path every turn is just, whew, it's good. It's real scary. We've got the V-Guard energy coming down, the energy attached, kind of starting to power up her backup Pokemon as well. Level Ball to do some thinning, because thinning is winning, guys. Come on, we all know this. thinning out that Manaphy. Unnecessary against this matchup, so it's nice just to pull that bad boy out of the deck since she doesn't need it, you know? I think both of these boards have been set up really, really well. I mean, you saw how well that these decks set up. Guys, this game is incredibly slow. This is our first game, and we're like, what, 25 minutes into our first game? It's so slow compared to the V-Star VMAX format. Because, you know, you just evolve and attack, right? It's so simple, it's so easy. With these decks, sometimes they do require a turn, maybe an extra turn of setup. Now, I actually do top deck the supporter I'm looking for. This is another new supporter from Scarlet and Violet. Miriam. Miriam allows me to shuffle up to five, right? Or up to, what is it again? It's up to 3, right? Is it 3 or 5? You know what? I'll have to look because you'd think I'd know considering I'm playing it, but the joke's on you guys, I actually don't know anything. But yeah, okay, it is. It shuffle up to 5 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck and then draw 3 cards. This is absolutely phenomenal because let's say you shuffle up Pokemon you need this turn, you can potentially shuffle them into the deck and then draw into them, which is incredibly nice. I am still looking, you see double Judge FST, not what I'm looking for, but we do find the Gardevoir. Oh, there it is. That is the Shining Arcana Gardevoir. Now, we're looking at pretty set for success here. She was like, oh, you can't use Gardevoir's ability. Path. Ha-ha! She was like, oh, dang it! I've had a counter for the Path to the Peak every single time, which is, I'm like, no. I knew that I was able to play through that because I had it in my hand. So, I'm going to accelerate 1 energy to the active for retreat, put the damage counters on it, and then I'm going to put 12 damage counters and attaching 6 energy onto my active Gardevoir. That leaves it with 20 hit points remaining. That activates my Emergency Jelly. Emergency Jelly is a tool card that says if this Pokemon has 30 HP or less, 30 HP or less, heal 120 from it. So now, my Gardevoir is completely full healed, which means I can accelerate 2 extra energy onto it that I wouldn't have been able to before. Yes, I do place 40 damage on it, but guess what? This Gardevoir has the Brain Wave attack. It has the same attack as Zacian V. It does 60 plus 30 for each psychic energy attached to this Pokemon. And just like that, look at it. We have an absolutely massive Gardevoir. I mean, look at all that energy. And then we're going to Brainwave for the knockout and take another 2 prize cards. Absolutely wild. Alright, she does promote the Piggy, and she was like, oh, Lucky Energy. And then we were discussing that once again. Collapse does not allow her to draw what she needs, which is so massive for this deck. Let's see if she can keep it rolling. I mean, she does have 1 prize card remaining. I do have 2 prize cards, so all I need is 1 little Piggy, and I could be in there. Now, the only scary thing, of course, is the fact that if she knocks out this Gardevoir, it's game over, you know? So she does need just 1 energy and a Lechonk, and that's it. But it does not look like she has the Oinkologne EX to evolve it to swing and take the knockout. So it looks like I might be saved here. She's gonna just collect and draw a card. I draw into the boss's orders, so it doesn't matter what I knock out because she has 2 Piggies left. But my strategy, knowing now that she does not have the knockout, she can knock out my Gardevoir my basic Gardevoir easily if she draws into her Oinkologne EX. So I'm going to pay retreat cost of 2 and go into my Gardevoir EX. Gardevoir EX cannot be 1-hit KO'd. I'm trying to figure out what to do with all this energy, man. I've got, what, 6, 7, 8 energy? I have no idea where to put it, guys. It's so crazy. But I'm going to now use Gardevoir's ability To accelerate energy into play, the Psychic Embrace. Accelerate 3 Psychic Energies into play on it, because now that I know she doesn't have the Lechonk this turn, I'm hoping that she also doesn't have Boss as well. I'm forcing her to find an extra card, which is absolutely incredible. And so here we go. She does her draw for turn. She does find a Bidoof, benching down, or a Bibarel. Manaphy, double turbo. If she finds Boss, she could be in there for game. Bibarel's Industrious Incisors, allowing her to fill her hand to 5. Does she find the Boss? Full face guard. A second Bibarel comes down. Okay. Industrious Incisors for 2, it looks like. No Boss's Orders. She needs Boss's Orders and Oinkologne. It's asking for a lot. She does find a Colress, though. Colress does allow her to continue digging. Wow, those Bibarels coming in absolutely clutch here. Now, like I said, Gardevoir here is got 310 hit points. This Gardevoir is massive stage 2 that cannot be knocked out by a Oinkologne, which is exactly why I chose to promote it and attack with it. Alright, Oinkologne EX comes down. She does find it. And she is going to be able to get off a pretty big attack this turn. Of course, Temple of Sinnoh stops her from using her big attack, but she can use her maddening scent and do some pretty solid damage here. I mean, we're looking set for success to just knock out this Oinkologne and take the game. I mean, Gardevoir itself, its attack does 190 damage and recovers all special, you get to recover all special conditions from this Pokemon. So it is a nice 2-shot attack, but of course I don't want to be attacking with it right now. I'm going to pay the 2 retreat costs to go back into my Shining Arcana Gardevoir. Guys, I don't know what to do with all this energy. I'm going to slap the extra 2 energy from the discard pile that I used to pay retreat onto it. I'm counting my energy just to make sure that I have enough. I believe I have, what, 8 energy on it right now. Put the extra damage counters, or that's 8, 9, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we have Refinement. Draw 2 cards here. We're trying to see, we draw my last 2 cards. I drew my entire deck, guys. Only playing, what, 3 supporters the entire game? And I have every single energy in my deck in the discard pile. That is 11 energy on Gardevoir, plus the emergency jelly to full heal it. We're memeing. That is 330 plus base 60. We are super overkilling this poor little piggy. We are counting it out just to make sure and take a big one-shot with our Shining Arcana Gardevoir. This deck is a ton of fun to play, guys. Absolutely love it. If you guys haven't made it this far into the video, I want to thank you so much for watching. This is my deck list here on screen. I think it's actually not exactly right. I think, yeah, it's not. I think I have a second temple over the Clara. I think is the only biggest difference. Is the only difference I see here. Now, for some reason, I can't get the Oinkologne EX deck profile to export, so I will just have that deck list down in the description below. Once again, if you liked the video today, drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace.